Welcome back, all my fight fans. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for UFC 324 coming up this Saturday, January 24th in Las Vegas, Nevada. We kick off the year with a pretty decent card. This is not going to be the best card of the year, in my opinion. I think this is probably going to be one of the weaker ones when we look back at it, but we have two title eliminator fights and a pretty good preliminary card underneath that. So I can't wait to break down all the fights for you guys today. As always, I'll go through absolutely every single fight and give you guys my predictions. So if you guys want to skip around, there will be timestamps down below in the description. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends to help boost this channel and the algorithm. And with that all out of the way, let's get into the predictions. Kicking us off with the first fight of 2026, we have a welterweight matchup between Adam Fugit and Ty Miller. Adam Fugit has a record of 10-5 with 5 wins by knockout, 3 coming by submission, and 3 coming in the first round. Ty Miller has a record of 6-0. This is his UFC debut, and he has 2 wins by knockout and 2 coming in the first round. I don't know if any of you guys saw Ty Miller's Contender Series fight last year, but it was one of the best fights on the Contender Series in 2025. I highly recommend going and checking it out. That is why he is a minus 450 favorite going into this fight. He's also 25 years old, whereas Adam Fugit is 37. So when there's a 12-year age gap like that, I always side with the younger fighters, especially when they're undefeated. So I'm taking Ty Miller in this one. I'm going to go second round TKO. Next up at bantamweight, we have a fight between Ricky Turquoise and Cameron Smotherman. Ricky has a record of 13-5 with 3 wins by knockout and 1 coming by submission, and Cameron Smotherman has a record of 12-6, 6 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and 2 of those coming in the first round. I don't care too much about this fight. I don't think it's that consequential for the division. I'm just hoping that it's a really fun fight. I'm a little bit more familiar with Ricky's game, so I'm going to take him to win this one by decision. Next up at heavyweight, we have a matchup which I think is going to be a lot of fun. This one between Josh Hokit and Denzel Freeman. Josh Hotik has a record of 7-0. He has 4 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 5 coming in the first round, whereas Denzel Freeman has a record of 7-1. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. He has 4 wins by knockout, and 2 of those coming in the first round. So for me, I'm going to side with Josh in this one. He is the favorite going into it. He was a former NFL athlete. I believe he played a little bit for the San Francisco 49ers. I think I got that information correct. And as you can see there, he's undefeated, and he's finished every single fight that he's been in. 5 of them in the first round, and he has 4 wins by knockout, 3 by submission. So you can see this guy is a diverse fighter. He can do many, many things at heavyweight. He's not just a knockout guy. So I think this guy's going to go on a run at heavyweight. He's only 28 years old, which is very young for heavyweight. This guy's got a lot of prime ahead of him. I'm going to take him to win by first round KO in this one. And next up at lightweight, we have a very entertaining matchup between Michael Johnson taking on Alexander Hernandez. Michael Johnson has a record of 25-19, almost a 50-50 record. He has 10 wins by knockout, 2 by submission, and 8 coming in the first round. Alex Hernandez, on the other hand, has a record of 18-8. He has 8 wins by knockout, 2 wins coming by submission, and 8 of those in the first round. So this should be a very fun matchup. You have 2 strikers, 2 guys that like to bang it out on the feet. Michael Johnson, 39 years old, getting a little bit long in the tooth, kind of at the twilight of his career, but he's still fantastic in there. He's on a 3-fight winning streak, I believe, and he's beaten guys like Dustin Poirier, knocking him out in the first round. He's beaten Edson Barboza, Tony Ferguson. This guy's beaten some big names, and he's taking on Alex Hernandez, who's on, I believe, a 4-fight winning streak. He's been very explosive in his last few fights. Seems like he's putting things together, and this was a prospect that at one point in time we thought would probably be challenging for a belt. I don't think either one of these guys is going to challenge for a belt anytime soon. I'm just hoping that it's a fun fight. You got more of a traditional boxer versus a dynamic heavy puncher. I'm going to take Alex Hernandez to win this one because he's a little bit younger and he's been streaking a little bit more. I'm going to take him to win this one by decision, but I hope this fight ends in a stoppage because it definitely should. These guys are going to sling it out. It's probably going to be a really fun fight. I would circle this one, and yeah, let's move on. And our early prelims headliner is a ranked flyweight bout between the number 11th ranked Alex Perez and the number 13th ranked Charles Johnson. Now, Alex Perez has a record of 25-10, 6 wins by knockout, 7 by submission, and 11 coming in the first round. Shows you that he can knock people out or submit them in the first round. That's very important to note. Charles Johnson, on the other hand, has a record of 18-7. He has 8 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 4 coming in the first round. I think this is a pretty big fight for flyweight. Whoever wins this fight is going to get a top-ranked opponent, somebody in the top 10, and they might be 1 or 2 fights away from possibly fighting for a title shot at the end of 2026. We'll see how things shake out in the flyweight division, but this is a big fight for both men. I think Alex Perez is going to get it done, even though he is the underdog going into this one. Charles Johnson is very slick on the feet. He's got great hands and quite a bit of power for flyweight, so I'd keep an eye on him. He is there's a reason why he's a favorite. He's very live in this fight, but I think Alex Perez is also a live underdog, and I'm going to take him to win this one by decision. Let's move on now to the regular prelims. Kicking off our regular prelims, we have a really fun fight at light heavyweight between the number 13th ranked Nikita Krylov and Modestas Bukauskas. Oh my God, why is that so hard to say? I apologize, Bukauskas. I hope I'm saying that name somewhat right. He is a very fun fighter, and he actually is the favorite going into this fight. But to look at their records really quick, Krylov has a record of 30-11. He's been in many, many fights. He has 12 wins by knockout, 16 by submission, and 23 coming in the first round. This man likes to get it done fast. He likes to get it done early. And Bukauskas, on the other hand, has a record of 19-6, 11 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 8 coming in the first round. Not quite the prolific record that Krylov has, but still a very fast finisher and a very exciting fighter. Both of these guys love to chase finishes. They love knockouts. They're very exciting fighters. They're both from very tough areas of the world too, so I can't wait to see these two sling it out. This could be a fight of the night. I don't know, but I'm going to take Krylov to win this one in a decision. I really want him to bounce back. In 2025, he obviously had that brutal knockout to Dominic Reyes. That really set him back quite a bit, so I hope he comes back in this one, shows out, gets something done early, but I honestly think this one's going to go to a decision. I think these guys are just too damn good. They're too well matched up. So I'm going to take Krylov by decision. I know that's a bit boring, but he certainly could get this done by knockout. 23 first-round stoppages. That's insane. That's an insane number. So we'll see how that one plays out. But the next fight at middleweight, I'm almost certain is going to end in the first round. It's between Ateba Gaethje versus Andre Pulayev. Gaethje, on one hand, has a record of 9-1. He's on an 8-fight winning streak, only losing his second fight. He has 8 wins by knockout, and 7 of them coming in the first round. Whereas Andre, on the other hand, has a record of 10-3, 6 wins by knockout, 2 by submission, and 5 coming in the first round. Now, Pulayev is a really good fighter. You should not rule him out in this fight. However, we've seen Gaethje. This guy is a pocket Ngannou. In fact, he might be a little bit better than Ngannou. I find that he's really calm in there. He's very focused under pressure, and he picks his shots better than Ngannou did. If you guys remember Ngannou, when he came over to the UFC, this guy was just throwing leather and hoping something lands. And usually something did land, and he knocked out a lot of people. But it took him quite a while to kind of figure out his game, slow things down, and then beat Stipe for the second time. This Gaethje, on the other hand, also from Cameroon, is kind of like perfect right now. He got into the game a lot earlier than Francis Ngannou did, and he's looking like an absolute world beater. I think he's probably got the most power at middleweight by far. I know you got guys like Joe Pyfer floating around, but I think this guy's the boogeyman. And I have him winning this one by first round knockout. And I'm pretty confident in that one. If there's any fight that I would bet money on, it's probably this one by first round knockout. So let's move on now to our prelim headliner, which is an awesome fight at bantamweight between the number 2 ranked Umar Nurmagomedov and the number 6 ranked Deiveson Figueiredo. Now, Umar Nurmagomedov has a record of 19-1, only losing a very close fight to Merab Dvalishvili, in which he broke his hand in the first round. He has 2 wins by knockout, 7 by submission, and 5 coming in the first round, whereas Deiveson Figueiredo has a record of 25-5-1, 9 wins by knockout, 9 by submission, and 11 coming in the first round. Deiveson Figueiredo is the Swiss Army knife of the bantamweight division, just like he was in the flyweight division. This guy can submit you, he can knock you out, he can do everything everywhere, and he's so elite at every single portion of the game, but so is Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, what it's going to come down to in this fight is the wrestling of Umar better than the jiu-jitsu of Figgy, and is the striking of Umar going to outlast and outwit the striking of Deiveson Figueiredo. Deiveson Figueiredo has so much power in his hands, you cannot let him get close. Luckily, Umar Nurmagomedov is a fantastic kickboxer, far beyond what we've seen from any other Dagestani fighter. He is the most talented kickboxer we've ever seen from Dagestan, maybe with the exception of Shara Bullet. But Umar Nurmagomedov, when he goes in there, he's going to be kicking. He's going to be keeping Deiveson Figueiredo at range. And if he ever comes in and tries to close the gap, I think he's going to be able to take him down basically with ease. Umar Nurmagomedov is a phenomenal wrestler on top of his great kickboxing. And I think he's going to go out there and just dominate Figueiredo in this one. I think he's going to really show why he deserves the next title shot. And if you guys watched my fight wish list for 2026, my most coveted fight of 2026 is to see Umar Nurmagomedov take on Petr Yan. I want to see that so freaking bad. I think Merab, Umar, and Petr are the three best fighters I've ever seen at bantamweight. Not saying they're the greatest. You still got to put Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw and other guys up there, but as far as best fighters I've ever seen walk in that weight class, Umar Nurmagomedov is among the top three. So I think he's going to go out there and absolutely dominate in this one, but this is not an easy opponent. This could go either way. This really, on paper, is a 50-50 fight, but for me, I've watched Umar Nurmagomedov's career so closely. I have so much confidence in this guy. I think if he gets the rematch with Merab, he's going to beat him, and I think if he fights Petr Yan after this, I think he's going to beat him too. So we'll see how it plays out, but I'm incredibly excited for this fight. It's my most anticipated fight of the entire card, so definitely circle it. Don't just watch the main card. Make sure you catch the prelim headliner between Figueiredo and Umar Nurmagomedov. It's going to be a banger. Let's move on now to the main card. And kicking off our main card, we have my second most anticipated fight of the entire night. I'm so pumped for this one. We have the number 6 ranked Arnold Allen taking on the number 10th ranked Jean Silva, and boy, is this going to be a barn burner. I think this is going to be fight of the night, so definitely circle this one. Arnold Allen, on one hand, has a record of 20-3, and a very impressive record. 7 wins by knockout, 4 by submission, and 4 coming in the first round. Jean Silva, on the other hand, has an impressive record of 16-3, with 12 wins by knockout, 3 coming by submission, and 10 of those coming in the first round. And he obviously had that very close fight with Diego Lopez last year. It was one of my fights of the year, and then he was trying to land that spinning back elbow, and then Lopez landed it on him, which was super badass. We're going to talk about Lopez in about a week here when he fights Volkanovski for the second time for the title. That's going to be exciting to break down. But in this one, I'm almost more excited for this fight because these two strikers, man, they put their chins on the line. They both have great chins. They both can take shots, and they love getting into brawls, both of them. Arnold Allen's a little bit more technical. He's a little bit more measured in his fights, but he can get into firefights. You watch that fight with Dan Hooker, my God. Arnold Allen is one of my favorite boxers in the entire sport. I think he's one of the most technical, and I think he could definitely get this done if Jean Silva doesn't land something incredibly sneaky like he normally does. He looks for flying knees. He looks for spinning back elbows. He looks for really weird and crafty techniques, and when he lands them with devastating force. That's why he has 10 knockouts. So I don't know which way to call this one. I've been a fan of Allen a little bit longer, but since the fighting nerds have come on the scene, they've kind of stolen my heart. So I don't know which way to call this. I'm probably going to be flipping back and forth on the night of the fight, but I think I'm going to take Jean Silva just because he has a little bit more power from what I've seen in his fights. And if this goes to the ground, I do also favor Silva. You know, you watch the way he kind of manhandled Bryce Mitchell and choked him out. I think if this goes to the ground, he can also grab a submission here. So I'm going to take Jean Silva to win this one, either by third round KO or possibly submission. We'll go with KO for now. We'll do third round KO, Jean Silva, lock it in. But this fight really could go either way. Next up, we have a fantastic fight at women's strawweight between the number 2 ranked Natalia Silva and the number 6 ranked Rose Namajunas. Natalia Silva has a record of 19-5-1. She's on a 13-fight winning streak with 5 wins by knockout and 7 coming by submission. Rose Namajunas, on the other hand, has a record of 15-7, 2 wins by knockout, 6 by submission, and 5 coming in the first round. This fight is going to be incredibly fun. Please do not skip this one. Don't treat it as a bathroom break. This is going to be more entertaining than most of the men's fights. Natalia Silva is one of the most sound and technical strikers in the entire UFC, regardless of weight class or men's and women's divisions. She is so freaking talented. She's incredibly fast, lightning quick, and I love watching her fights. I think she's going to cruise through this one. That's why she's a minus 400 favorite. I think she's going to give Valentina Shevchenko a very tough fight and possibly beat her in 2026. We'll see what happens. You guys know how much I love Valentina Shevchenko, but this Natalia Silva chick is so freaking talented, like insanely talented. The only reason she'll lose to Valentina Shevchenko is maybe she's a little bit smaller than her. Maybe Valentina can manhandle her with the judo, but she is almost an equivalent striker to Valentina Shevchenko, and you'll see it in this fight. The way she'll manhandle Rose Namajunas, I'm very confident in her getting the win in this one. Of course, it's Thug Rose. You never know what's going to happen. I thought Joanna Jędrzejczyk was going to dominate Rose, and then look what happened. She knocked her out. So that was a spectacular performance. Does she still have that kind of fight in her at this age? I don't know. We'll see. Natalia Silva is quite a bit younger than her. Rose being 33 years old and Natalia Silva being 28 years old, just right coming into her prime right now. It's kind of a perfect opportunity for her. If she gets a big win here against Rose Namajunas, I'm almost guaranteeing that she's going to fight for the belt at some point in 2025. Maybe not on that White House card. I don't know if they'll put it on that, but I would love to see Valentina Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva on that White House card. I think it's one of the best women's fights you can make. It might even be a better fight. It's likely to be a better fight than the Weili Zhang and Shevchenko fight, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm really hot on this Silva chick. She's a fantastic prospect. She's so fun to watch. Please don't skip this fight. Make sure you watch it. It's going to be a blast. Next up at heavyweight, we have a super fun fight that's almost guaranteed to end in the first round. I think if this goes to the second round, somebody must have slipped on a banana peel or gotten injured or something. I don't know if there's any chance that this makes it past the first 5 minutes, but at heavyweight, we have the number 5 ranked Waldo Cortez Acosta taking on the number 8th ranked Derek Lewis. Now, Cortez Acosta has a record of 16-2. He has 8 wins by knockout, 1 coming by submission, and 5 in the first round. And as we know with Derek Lewis, 29-12, not the greatest record, but 24 wins by knockout, and 10 of those coming in the first round. He obviously has the record for most knockouts in UFC history. That's kind of contributing to me thinking this is probably going to end pretty quickly. Both of these guys are knockout artists. Both of these guys have a tremendous amount of power, and they both like to get after it rather quickly. So I think this one's going to end in the first round. I'm going to go with Waldo Cortez Acosta. He's a rising prospect. He looks like the next guy that's probably going to challenge for the belt if he can get a big win here. But it's Derek Lewis. You never know with that guy. That guy shows up some nights, other nights he's nowhere to be found, and he gasses out, and then it's just over. So we'll see what Derek Lewis we get. He is getting up there in age, right? He's kind of at the twilight of his career. He's probably only got a few fights left, but I love seeing Derek Lewis knockouts. Every single time he upsets one of my picks or messes things up in my parlay, I always smile because I'm like, whatever. We got to see a badass knockout. So, yeah, Derek Lewis is the man. We'll see what he does in this fight, but I'm taking Cortez by first round knockout. Next, we move on to the co-main event, and this is at bantamweight. It's between the number 3rd ranked Sean O'Malley taking on the number 5th ranked Song Yadong. Sean O'Malley has a record of 18-3, 12 wins by knockout, and 9 coming in the first round, whereas Song Yadong has a record of 22, 8-1. He has 9 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 7 coming in the first round. Now, this fight is very interesting. I really want Song Yadong to win this one. He's 3 years younger than O'Malley. He's an up-and-coming prospect. You might not think that because he's been around for quite a while. I believe he came into the UFC when he was 22 or 23 years old. He's only fought in the best guys. All of his 5 losses that he had coming before the UFC all happened when he was 20, 21 years old. You can kind of write those off because the fighter was so young when he had them. If fighters are losing in their late 20s, early 30s, that's more so when you got to pay attention to it. But he came over to the UFC, only fought the best guys, only has lost to the best guys, only has lost to guys like Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen, guys like that. And he's beaten a lot of top-level competition as well. Obviously, recently beating Henry Cejudo in a little bit of a controversial fashion, but this guy is incredibly well-rounded. He's got a great ground game, fantastic wrestling. He's got jiu-jitsu. He's great on the feet. He's got fantastic boxing. He's well-measured. He's confident in there. He doesn't quite have that killer instinct, I find. He is an absolute beast, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't quite go for things like a guy like Sean O'Malley does. You know, Sean O'Malley's always looking for that one shot. He's always looking to spark you, and he has a little bit more viciousness in how he fights. At least that's what I find. But Song Yadong is an absolute killer, and I hope he goes in there and gets the win. It would be much better for the division if he does. Obviously, we are not going to see Merab fight Sean for the 3rd time. Watching O'Malley fight Petr Yan again is kind of boring because I felt like Yan dominated him in the first fight, even though the decision went to O'Malley. One of the biggest robberies, I think, in UFC history. But if that fight does get ran back, I think Yan is just at a point now in his career, and O'Malley's now at a point in his career where it's going to be it's going to be even more dominant, and I don't think that fight's going to be remotely close. So I feel like a guy like Song Yadong can pose more challenges to a guy like Merab, to a guy like Umar, to a guy like Jan. That's just my feeling watching his game. He's more well-rounded, but does he have that killer instinct to go out there and to make something happen? Because he has had a few decisions in his career. He's had some fights that were rather close that maybe he should have won. So we'll see what happens in this one, but if Sean O'Malley goes in there and he looks vintage and he goes in there and gets that first round knockout, he puts himself right back in there in the title picture. So we'll see what happens. I am 50-50 on Sean O'Malley outside of the cage. You know, he's sometimes funny, sometimes cringe and annoying. I don't pay too much attention to him, so we'll see what happens. But I think it's better for the division if Song Yadong wins. If you guys disagree with me, you guys can let me know down below in the comments. But I'm gonna take Song Yadong to win this one by decision. I know Sean O'Malley is the favorite right now, and picking him by first round KO isn't a bad bet. But I'm gonna take Song Yadong by third round. I think this one is a 3-round fight. If it's a 5-round fight, I'm going 5-round decision. If it's a 3-round fight, 3-round decision for Song Yadong. I just find he has more tools. Like I said, he's more dynamic. He's got a better ground game. He's got a great gas tank, and he's very measured in his boxing. If he's calm and cool under pressure and he stays out of range of Sean's cross, I think he probably could survive the first couple rounds and then start to put it on Sean and start to wear him down with his superior cardio and volume. So let's see how that fight plays out. Moving on, we have the lightweight championship on the line. Not the real one. We have an interim belt on the line here. I don't even know why they're creating an interim belt at this point. Either one of these guys should have just fought Topuria, but I guess Topuria might be waiting out to fight Islam on the White House card. I don't really know what's happening, but we have an interim title belt here at lightweight. Of course, between the number 4th ranked Justin Gaethje and the number 5th ranked Paddy Pimblett. Justin Gaethje, on one hand, has a record of 26-5, 20 wins coming by knockout, and 9 of them coming in the first round, whereas Paddy Pimblett has a record of 23-3. He's on a 9-fight winning streak with 7 wins coming by knockout and 10 coming by submission. Paddy Pimblett is a super big submission threat, especially in this division. He's got great jiu-jitsu. He's fantastic on the ground, very crafty too. He's pretty creative down there. On the feet, he's got great striking. I wouldn't put it up there with the best strikers in the division, obviously, but he is a very sound striker, and he gets underrated on that quite a bit. I don't like Paddy. I think outside of the cage, the guy is so freaking annoying. I can't stand him at all. I hated his personality as soon as he came into the UFC, so I'm not a big fan of him. I want him to get knocked out, but we cannot underrate this guy. This guy has really high-level striking, even if he doesn't show it with flashy wheel kicks and stuff like that. He's a very sound striker. And then on the ground, I mean, he's obviously a jiu-jitsu phenom. There's not many guys at 155 who are better on the ground than Paddy Pimblett. I honestly think if you put him in there against a guy like Moicano or even a guy like Charles Oliveira, I think he could possibly submit those guys. I know that that's blasphemy to a lot of fans, especially Brazilian fans who love Charles Oliveira to death, but I do think this guy is that talented on the ground, and he's very strong too. He's not weak like Charles Oliveira or Moicano, who have, kind of weaker frames. They don't have as much muscle on them. Paddy Pimblett does fill out. He gets very big after he does that weight cut. Puts a lot of weight back on, and if this goes to the ground, I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know if Justin Gaethje's wrestling is going to save him in this one. If this goes to the ground, I can see him getting submitted. If it stays on the feet, though, it's not going to go well for Paddy. I don't care if he outstrikes him. I don't care if he's got the more technical boxing or if he lands the better shots throughout the fight or even if he bloodies Justin Gaethje up throughout the fight. I think Justin Gaethje, with how hard he kicks people's legs, with how hard his hands hit you, with the sneaky kicks that he throws up, right? Like the one on Fiziev, what the heck? This guy hits so hard, he puts everything behind his punches. He doesn't need to hit you as much as you hit him. You can hit him 10 times. Justin Gaethje only needs to hit you once or twice, and then you're going to start feeling it. And then he might only have to hit you 1 or 2 more times, and then you're out. Justin Gaethje doesn't take much to knock people out. And I know he's getting up there in age. He's kind of past his prime now, but I think he's still 35 years old. He's still kind of right in it. He's still got 1 or 2 more years left to chase that belt one last time, and I would like to see him do it. I would love to see him in there against Ilia Topuria. That would be such a fun fight, especially if Justin Gaethje's chin can last a round or 2. I don't think it will. I think if he does fight Topuria, it's going to be a first-round knockout for Topuria. He's just that good, and he's got that much power. But if he lasted, that could be a really, really fun fight. Now, something's telling me, I have a weird feeling that this is going to be a great fight. It doesn't look like it on paper to me. On paper, it looks like it's either going to be a really fast knockout for Justin Gaethje, or Paddy Pimblett's going to find some way to get this to the ground and submit Gaethje in the first couple rounds. That's what it looks like on paper, at least to my eyes. But I have this weird feeling that this fight is going to be a barn burner, that it's going to be back and forth, and that it's going to turn into a war. I just feel like both guys, they're too equally matched. Even though they have areas that they're better than the other guy in, they're not like drastically better. You know, like Paddy Pimblett's got a great ground game. It's probably better than Justin Gaethje's, but Justin Gaethje does not have a bad ground game at all. He's a fantastic wrestler. Sure, he's been submitted before in his career, but I feel like he can make it an interesting fight on the ground. It's the same thing on the feet. Yeah, Justin Gaethje does have the advantage on the feet. He's got more power. He's knocked out way more people. But Paddy Pimblett is not a slouch on the feet either. He's not an average stand-up fighter. He's a good stand-up fighter. He's got good striking. Like I said, I don't want to underrate that about him just because I don't like the guy personally. So I think this fight's going to be an absolute war. I could be totally wrong about that, and this could end totally, like, very, very quickly, but you never know, right? These predictions are just for fun. I have no idea how these fights are going to play out until they actually play out, so I'm going to take Justin Gaethje in this one just because I want to see him fight for the title one last time, even though I think he's going to get decimated by Topuria. I want to see him fight for the title one last time. It would be a magical moment for him to go out on his career that way. If he loses this fight, he's just going to start sinking in the rankings, and it's going to be kind of a sad end to his career because this top 10 at lightweight is too damn strong. He needs to win this fight. So I'm going to take him to win this one. I'm going to take him to win it by decision because I think this is going to be a war, and I think it could possibly be fight of the night. I have a weird feeling that this is going to be a very close fight, and it's going to be a very fun fight. So I hope that feeling is correct. I hope I'm not getting some weird misguided feeling here, but I hope I'm correct on that. I hope this one plays out like I feel like it's going to. And yeah, I don't really have anything else much to say about this main event just because their styles are so weird. You know, these you got a super hard power puncher who fights kind of like Homer Simpson, puts his chin on the line, beats you down with heavy leg kicks. I don't know how that guy matches up against somebody like Paddy Pimblett, who, if he gets you to the ground, he's going to tie you into a pretzel. I don't understand how these two matchups are going to play out. Like I said, I got a feeling that it's going to be a fun fight, but that's all I got to say about it for now. In my breakdown video, obviously, we'll cover the fight after it happens and talk about all the results, but if you guys want to let me know your guys' predictions down below in the comments, I love hearing from you guys. Tell me who you guys think are going to win each of the fights. If you guys want to just tell me who you think is going to win the main or co-main event, that's fine too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends to help boost this channel and the algorithm. Thank you guys for watching. As always, it means the absolute world to me. Enjoy the fights. It's the first fight card of 2026, so I hope it's a good one. Even though on paper it's, I hope it's a good fight card. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will catch you guys in the breakdown. Peace.